Shadows of betrayal. Lulu's breaking point in Port Charles. In the labyrinthine world of Port Charles, where secrets fester like open wounds and loyalties shatter like fragile glass, the fragile truce between two mothers teeters on the brink of catastrophe. General Hospital devotees, brace yourselves. The September 23 episode unleashes a storm of raw emotion, as Lulu Spencer, resurrected from the abyss of her coma, fierce and unyielding, confronts the ghost of her deepest betrayals. At the eye of this hurricane stands Britt Westbourne, the once redeemed siren whose return has ignited a powder keg of resentment. Whispers among the faithful swirl like autumn fog. Lulu may soon wield the cold steel of a restraining order, severing Britt's claws from the boy who binds them in blood and bitterness. But how did olive branches turn to thorns? Let's unravel this tangled web, thread by dramatic thread, and peer into the fractured souls driving this maternal showdown. The fragile olive branch. A mother's desperate plea for peace. Picture the scene. The sterile hum of a dimly lit apartment in the heart of Port Charles, where the air hangs heavy with unspoken accusations. Lulu Spencer, her eyes a storm of sapphire resolve, steps across the threshold not as an adversary, but as a woman clawing for common ground. It's a gesture born of exhaustion, not weakness, the kind that follows sleepless nights haunted by what-ifs and stolen cradles. Rocco Falconeri, her son, the living heartbeat of her redemption arc, has been whispering questions into the quiet hours. Who is she, Mom? The woman who carried me? Curiosity, that innocent dagger, pierces Lulu's armor. Rocco, at an age where heroes and villains blur in the fairy tales Dante reads him at bedtime, yearns to bridge the chasm. And so, Lulu goes to Britt, not with fire in her veins, but with a blueprint for coexistence. She lays it out like a fragile treaty on the scarred coffee table, boundaries, not barriers. Shared moments under watchful eyes, stories exchanged like heirlooms, but always with Lulu's guiding hand. It's a compromise forged in the fires of her recent trials, the endless skirmishes with Brooklyn Quartermain, where pride nearly devoured them both, only for Lulu to extend a hand and choose unity over vendetta. This is the new Lulu, tempered by coma-induced clarity, a phoenix who prioritizes her fledgling's wings over her own scars. She envisions weekends at the park, awkward laughter over ice cream cones, Rocco's laughter weaving the women into an unlikely tapestry. We can do this, she urges, her voice a velvet blade, for him. But Port Charles devours mercy like a ravenous beast. Britt Westbourne, perched on the edge of her velvet chaise like a queen dethroned, lets the words curdle on her tongue. Her response isn't a dialogue, it's a declaration of war. Lips curling into that signature smirk, the one that once charmed drawing room schemers and now chills the spine, Britt unleashes a verbal barrage. You think you can leash me? Dictate the terms of my blood? The room crackles with her defiance, the air thickening as if the walls themselves recoil. Rocco isn't just a son to Britt, he's her trophy, her redemption etched in tiny fingerprints and midnight feedings. Lulu's ground rules aren't olive branches, they're chains, and Britt Westbourne has never worn shackles gracefully. Echoes of the old serpent. Britt's relapse into ruthless glory. Ah, Britt. The enigma who slithered back into our screens like a serpent shedding its skin, only to coil tighter around old poisons. We cheered her resurrection, didn't we? That electric jolt when Kelly Thibaud's Ice Queen Grace reclaimed the canvas, her arc a symphony of growth from villainous to vulnerable anti-heroine. Remember the fragility she wore like gossamer after faking her death? The quiet confessions in shadowed corners, the tentative steps toward atonement with Maxie Jones, the woman whose womb she once hijacked. Brit had evolved, softer edges honed by loss, a heart cracked open to let light filter through the cracks. Port Charles witnessed her unravel, layer by poignant layer, until she was more mirror than monster, reflecting our own jagged humanity. Yet here, in this charged confessional, the clock rewinds with vicious precision. The Brit before us isn't the penitent wanderer. She's the original sin, the silver-tongued predator who devours without remorse. Her pursuit of Rocco isn't tender, it's territorial, a lioness bearing fangs at the pride's matriarch. "He's * my son," she hisses, the words laced with venom that drips like acid rain. It's a callback to her glory days, the calculated cruelties, the lives toppled like dominoes for a taste of power. We adored that Brit for her audacity, her unapologetic hunger in a town bloated with hypocrisy. But this? This regression feels like a gut punch, a narrative sleight of hand that trades depth for drama. Why resurrect her only to resurrect the demon? Is it laziness or a deliberate descent into the abyss, forcing us to question if redemption was ever real? Lulu, for all her flaws, and oh, how we've catalogued them since her coma thaw, stands as an unlikely beacon in this morass. Insufferable? Perhaps in her early post-wakefulness haze, a whirlwind of entitlement and amnesia-fueled fury. But maturity has crept in like dawn's first light, illuminating choices we never thought she'd make. Her feud with Brooke Lynn, that operatic clash of egos over legacy and lies, could have ended in scorched earth. Instead, Lulu swallowed her thorns, brokered peace for the greater good, proving that even fallen Spencers can rise with grace. It's this evolution that makes her outreach to Brit so heartbreakingly human, a mother, stripped bare, begging for scraps of harmony. The dagger of memory, Brit's cruel symphony of special bonds, and then, the coup de grace. As Lulu extends her vulnerability like a chalice, Brit shatters it with a single, shattering truth. "We have a bond you could never touch," she purrs, her eyes gleaming with the cold fire of conquest. Stories from his first breaths, his tiny fists clutching my finger in the dead of night. Moments you were robbed of, by me. The words land like shrapnel, embedding deep in Lulu's chest. It's not hyperbole, it's history, etched in the blackest ink of betrayal. Flash back to that unholy chapter. Brit, the fertility clinic's Faustian puppeteer, pilfering Lulu and Dante's embryo like a thief in the night. Implanted in her own barren vessel, carried to term amid lies that poisoned every milestone. Rocco's coups, his first wail, they echoed in Brit's chambers while Lulu wandered a fog of grief, her body a hollow echo, her heart a vault of what-ifs. No apology ever bridged that chasm. Not a whisper of contrition from Brit's lips, no balm for the wound that festered into phantom pains. Even Brooke Lynn Quartermain, that sharp-tongued Quartermain firebrand, couldn't stomach the retelling. In a rare moment of solidarity, she confessed to Lulu what she did. Unforgivable. a violation carved into your soul. Dante Falconeri, the stoic detective whose badge can't shield his heart, stood frozen in the aftermath, his partner's agony a mirror to his own silenced rage. They were ghosts in their own nursery, robbed of the sacred chaos of new life, while Britt basked in the glow of stolen sunrise. In this moment, Britt's cruelty isn't petty, it's primal, a reminder that some scars never scar over, they suppurate. She dangles that special bond, like a noose, tightening it around Lulu's neck with every syllable. Rocco's curiosity? Twisted into ammunition. He wants my tales, Britt taunts, the ones that shaped him when you were lost in the dark. Lulu's face crumples, not in defeat, but in the fierce ignition of instinct. Maternal fury, that ancient force, surges like a tidal wave. For once, even the staunchest Lulu skeptics, those who've rolled eyes at her diva decrees and dramatic swoons, feel the pull. We root for her, not out of affection, but empathy. Who among us wouldn't claw back what's ours when the thief parades it as prize? Fractured alliances. The ripple of Rocco's shadow. This clash isn't isolated. It's the epicenter of a quake rippling through Port Charles's fault lines. Dante, ever the anchor in Lulu's tempest, hovers on the periphery, his detective's instincts screaming warnings. Rocco, oblivious yet, absorbs the tension like osmosis, his wide eyes darting between the women who claim him. And lurking in the wings? The Quartermains, ever the meddlers, with Brooklyn's newfound alliance to Lulu a wildcard in the deck. Will this fracture spill into courtrooms and custody battles, dragging the Falconeri name through tabloid mud? Or can Lulu's restraint, that hard-won maturity, forge a path through the minefield? Yet, amid the wreckage, a sliver of hope glimmers for Britt. We ache for the woman she became, the confidant to Liesl Albrecht, the quiet warrior against her own demons. This old Britt, Redux can't endure, it's a shadow play, a temporary eclipse. Port Charles thrives on second acts, on villains veiled in virtue. Let her softer side resurface, perhaps in a midnight confession to Maxie, or a tentative olive branch of her own. For Rocco's sake, for the fragile web of family that binds them, Britt must shed this serpentine skin once more. The reckoning dawns, restraining order or redemption? As the credits roll on this episode's carnage, Lulu retreats into the night, her steps echoing with resolve. The restraining order looms not as vengeance, but self-preservation, a mother's shield against the storm. Will she file the papers, barring Britt from the shores of their shared harbor? Or will a miracle of mercy intervene, rewriting the script before ink meets gavel? In Port Charles, where love and loathing entwine like ivy on crumbling stone, nothing is etched in eternity. But one truth endures. Blood may bind, but betrayal breaks. Tune in, faithful viewers, as Lulu's fire meets Britt's frost in a blaze that could consume them all, or illuminate the way home. This maternal maelstrom isn't just soap opera suds. It's a mirror to our own tangled kinships, where forgiveness frays and instincts roar. Lulu Spencer, flawed colossus that she is, emerges not as villain or victim, but warrior. Britt Westbourne, enigma eternal, teeters on the razor's edge of relapse. And Rocco? The innocent at the crossroads, his heart the true battlefield. What say you, Port Charles? Will harmony prevail, or will the shadows claim another soul? The drama unfolds, grab your popcorn, and hold on tight. Asterisk, word count, 1,478, character count, 8,956 exclusive of title and byline, asterisk.